Kitty is trying to get hold of her boyfriend Day, but the reception is bad. She narrates how everyone in Portland has got their person, but she's still trying to get hold of hers since he is 16 time zones and 5,000 miles away. They have a quick chat about missing each other and wonder if they'll ever see one another again. Their chat is interrupted by a call from Kiss, a Korean school. She meets with her dad and stepmom and tells them about her future plans and decisions. She states that when she went to her grandma and grandpa's to help clean up the attic, she found her mom's stuff and realized that she went to Korea for boarding school in her junior year of high school. She got this scholarship for Koreans living abroad to help them learn about their culture. She tells her dad that the school her mom went to, the Korean Independent School of Seoul, is one of the top international schools in the world. It's the same one her boyfriend Dae goes to. She says that this is fate, so she applied to Kiss and she got in. She got the same scholarship as her mom. Her dad is shocked to learn that she's going now, but Kitty reminds him that she missed out on getting to know her mom, and she misses Dae all the time. She wants to start experiencing new things and have her own adventure, and this could be her chance to get to know her mom in her way. Her dad agrees to let her go. Kitty is at the airport texting her sister Margot when she spots an attractive Korean guy and learns that he goes to Kiss, but he refuses to talk to her and pretends he doesn't speak English. She arrives in Seoul but misses her bus. She tries to get around the city using a map looking for the Korean Independent School of Seoul, but no one helps her. Yuri is a wealthy girl, the daughter of Mr. Han, a famous entrepreneur, who opened a new hotel in Dubai. She shops for expensive clothes, then gets photographed by her fans waiting for her outside. She then texts a person called Baby, but her driver suddenly hits Kitty as she crosses the road. She helps her up and offers to give her a ride to Kiss, as she goes to the same school. Kitty tells Yuri about her boyfriend and that they met in Seoul a few years ago. She plans to surprise him at the welcome party, and then they'll kiss for the very first time. She asks if Yuri is seeing anybody and offers to help her as she is a matchmaker. Yuri reveals that she's been hanging out with somebody this summer, but it's not serious because it's complicated. Dae talks to a woman at school about his first quarter tuition payments that were due 2 weeks ago. He begs her to give him a little more time and he can sort this out. She gives him until tonight, otherwise his enrollment will be cancelled. Kitty texts him telling him that she has a surprise for him. Dae then asks his professor if he needs a TA, as he needs to make some cash soon, but the teacher ignores him. Kitty arrives at school and registers. Meanwhile, Yuri meets with her mom Gina, the principal, who informs her that Juliana's parents called her that morning. Their housekeeper saw Yuri and Juliana kissing last week. Yuri denies it completely, saying that she was just hugging her friend goodbye. Yuri then points out how her mom and dad have barely been home, being busy expanding their Han hotel empire. The principal reminds her of a merger with the Miller Hospitality, and since Madison Miller is attending Kiss this year, the last thing she needs is rumors running around the school about her daughter and Juliana. Yuri claims that she was sneaking around with someone this summer, and Juliana was just helping by covering for her. Her mom wants to meet her mystery boy. Kitty spots Gina and finds a picture of hers and her mom. She realizes that it's her mom's friend. She introduces herself to her and mentions her mom, Eve Song, but Gina acts like she doesn't remember her and walks away. Kitty arrives at her dorm and settles into her room. She calls her dad and she is excited about meeting other people who knew her mom and seeing Dae at the welcome party. However, she is a bit jet-lagged, so she falls asleep. She wakes up just in time to get ready for the event. She bumps into the Korean guy she met at the airport and finds out that he actually speaks English. She meets another student called Q, and the three watch Dae gobsmacked as he enters the hall, looking dashing. They wonder how he got a new suit. Kitty and Dae run towards each other and hug. He learns that she transferred to Kiss. Now they get to spend the entire year together. She's about to kiss him when Yuri shows up and puts her arm on his arm. Kitty is shocked to learn that she is his new girlfriend. Heartbroken, she walks away. Dae tries to run after her to explain, but Yuri stops him. A shocked Kitty storms out of the venue. She then meets Alex in the hallway. He comes from Melbourne, Australia, and he's a new teacher there this year. Yuri tells Day that her mom knows they've been dating since the summer, so she urges him to stop looking for Kitty and start acting like he's her boyfriend. She then asks two classmates about where Juliana is, who turns out to be the one named Baby that she's been texting. She tries to call her, but her number is no longer in service. Kitty tells Alex, while shouting, that she's going back into the venue and will not leave without answers. The rude Korean guy comments that Kitty treats Korean guys like Pokemon, as she's trying to catch them all. Kitty ignores him and asks Q where Day is. Q learns that she is Kitty, and Mino, the rude Korean, calls her the pen pal. Outside, Day learns from Miss John that his tuition has been paid. Yuri then reminds him that now he really owes her. He asks her why she needs a fake boyfriend. She replies that her mom will think she's doing this for attention and tell her to break up with him immediately. Yet, it will be better than if she knew the truth. Day wants to get this over with as he hates hurting Kitty, but Yuri asks him to wait until tomorrow. Yuri introduces Day to her mom, shocking her as he is her tutor and their driver's son. Gina then praises him, saying that he is one of their best students. Just then, Kitty shows up to confront Day, who tries to explain, but Yuri points out how he's been cheating on her. Kitty realizes that she fell for a guy who was a total liar, a total fake. She then crashes into a dessert tower and slips. Feeling embarrassed and crying, she contacts Asian Air to book a ticket to go back home. She heads to her room to pack and leave, but then her roommates show up. It turns out she is staying at the boys' dorm, and overhears Day, Q, and Mino talking about Yuri, who bought him a suit that cost $5,000. Day confesses that he feels bad for Kitty, but Mino reminds him that he wasn't in a real relationship with her. Kitty screams out of shock, and the boys hear that. They head to the room to investigate and are shocked to see Kitty hiding under the blanket. They all scream, with Mino commenting that Day's crazy ex-pen pal broke into their dorm to murder them. Q explains that she is listed as Song Kove, which is a boy's name in Korea. That's why they assigned her to the guys' dorm. Mino, however, thinks that she did this on purpose to be closer to Day and him. Day tries to talk to her, but she refuses and asks for her necklace back, the one she gave him when his mom died. He claims he doesn't know where it is, but he'll find it. She is heartbroken to hear that, as it belonged to her mom. In the bathroom, Mino tells Day that he managed to land the richest daughter in the world, so he advises him not to blow it. Q reminds him that he also has the love of his life close to him, so he shouldn't ruin that. It turns out Day still has the necklace and is shown wearing it. At night, both Day and Yuri try to contact the love of their lives, but discover that their numbers were blocked. The next morning, Kitty decided to head back home and is on her way to the airport when she spots a place where her mom stood and was photographed. She takes a selfie and believes it to be a sign to stay. Meanwhile, Yuri's dad threw a fit at one of his employees, and the whole thing was filmed, which is now circulating online. The news call him abusive, and Mr. Han learns that Yuri posted a meme of his outburst. He scolds her, but Gina has a solution to their problem. Since Yuri has been dating the driver's son, and he welcomed him with open arms, she plans to use their relationship to show the world during a press conference that Mr. Han is a tolerant man. Day finds Kitty and tries to justify his actions, but gets interrupted by Yuri's calls. As Kitty is about to walk away, he grabs her and is about to kiss her, but his father interrupts him, saying that President Han wants to talk to him. President Han hears from his assistant that Yuri paid Day's tuition, which means that her feelings for him are sincere. Mr. Han decides to offer him an internship and prepares the NDA for him to sign. Day learns that they are heading to the press conference. He whispers in Yuri's ear that their deal is over, but Yuri explains that the situation has changed. Kitty decides to stay after all and heads to her room to find Q and Mino watching Mr. Han's press conference with Day and Yuri. She notices how Day looks miserable and that something isn't right. The journalist asks Day if Mr. Han is being sincere, and not using him to repair his image. Kitty then notices that Dae refuses to hold Yuri's hand and deduces that he's faking it. Dae reflects on whether to sign the NDA or not. His little sister then starts questioning him about his relationship with Yuri and if Kitty dumped him. She shows her dad a video of Dae going viral. Dae then notices that his sister's shoes are torn, and he mends them. The little girl reveals that she's already getting made fun of in school. Kitty gets ready for school. Mino shows up with movers and warns her that he's going to call campus police and have her forcefully removed. Kitty then asks Dae why he would pretend to be rich all these years and wonders what else he's lying about. He says that he was embarrassed that a beautiful girl on a fancy family vacation was interested in him. Mino and Q interrupt them, but he promises to explain everything later. Yuri tries to text Juliana, and she reminisces the moments she spent with her. Dae and Yuri arrive at school where the paparazzi are snapping their pictures. He hands her the assigned NDA, and she reveals that her mom is having her tailed right now. They walk together holding hands and smiling. He stresses that Kitty has figured out too much, so he has to tell her the truth, but Yuri insists that he can't tell her, otherwise he'll get sued. She finally tells him who Baby is. She was supposed to be at the welcome party, but all her social media's been deleted and her phone's been disconnected. She thinks her parents sent her away because of her, and she might never see her again. Dae feels sorry for her, seeing her getting teary-eyed, so he offers to give her a piggyback ride to class. Kitty still thinks that their relationship is fake, but her classmates start calling her the Portland stalker. Yuri tells Dae that she doesn't mind him telling Kitty that they're in a fake relationship as long as she keeps the secret. Dae points out that Kitty has never told anyone any of his secrets before. Yuri then gets dragged into a room by a hooded person who turns out to be Juliana. They hug and she tells Yuri that her parents are sending her to Oakham, but reassures her that they'll be together in Iceland soon. Professor Lee tells Kitty that she needs to be tutored as she is below the level of her peers and the work only gets more challenging. She needs to head to the library after school where she'll be assigned a new tutor. At the school cafeteria, everyone starts mocking her and calling her the Portland stalker, so she sits with Q and tells him that Dae and Yuri are a fake couple, but Q doesn't agree with her. She claims that she is a matchmaker and figures that he likes Florian, but Q reminds her that Saul isn't gay-friendly and he has family in Iran and the Philippines, where he spends every vacation in hetero cosplay summer camp. Gina believes that Yuri cheated in her essay, so she confiscates her credit card in order not to have access to trouble. Yuri reminds her mom that she promised she could go to that New Year's festival in Iceland. Gina advises her to improve her behavior then. Dae gets a deposit from Han Group and uses it to buy his sister a new pair of shoes. During chemistry class, Kitty sits next to Mino, who calls her the Portland stalker. He advises her to go home and asks Alex for a new lab partner, so Kitty calls him Poopy Baby as he did an advert as an infant. Soon all his classmates start laughing at him. Kitty sits elsewhere and uses her matchmaking skills to set Florian and Q together. She then heads to the library to meet her tutor, Dae. They're about to talk about their relationship when Yuri interrupts them and reveals that Kitty outed Mino as the Poopy Baby. She adds that he told her a secret that she blabbed to the whole school. Dae gets mad at Kitty, but she says that if it was such a big secret, he shouldn't have told her. Dae realizes that their relationship isn't gonna work. He says that he still cares about her as she is his best friend. He concludes saying that he and Yuri are real, and he returns her necklace. Kitty realizes that he was wearing it the whole time and wonders why he's breaking her heart. In her room, she and Q chat about her mom, but then a baby bracelet falls out the photo album. On it is written her mom's name in Korean. Kitty realizes that her mom had a baby in Korea in 1993. Professor Lee apologizes to Kitty about the dorm situation and reveals that Mino is the one who alerted them to her rooming mishap. She heads to her new dorm and meets her roommate. The place is chaotic and messy. Her roommate spends the whole day playing video games. Kitty can't study nor sleep. The next day, she dozes off in class. She begs Alex to help her, but the girls' dorm is completely full. He recommends she goes to the library. Kitty and Q watch a movie together. She advises him to get a group together the next day for a binge party where he'll invite Florian. She's then sad as she can't tell Day about her having a half-sibling, because Yuri is always around. She confesses that she misses her best friend. Q suggests she goes hiking with them. Mino feels lonely as his friends all head out for the hike. He calls his mom, but she's busy shooting a movie. He learns that Day is hiking, so he decides to join them, but Q reveals that Kitty is also going, so he can't be there. Day and Kitty chat about her mom, but Yuri interrupts them. Mino told her about the hike, so she asks him to start acting like a real boyfriend. Mino also turns up to hang out with them. They start hiking, Kitty trips and Day saves her. Kitty and Yuri then start arguing, and they make a bet to race up the mountain. Kitty gets there and enjoys the view. She tells Yuri that her mom loved hiking and used to take her sisters all the time. Yuri confides that her mom would take her to the department store and forget her there. Then she'd send the nanny back to get her. Kitty reveals that their moms knew each other at Kiss. Day then shows up, so Yuri asks Kitty to take their picture. Kitty notices a building in the picture and recognizes the hospital where her mom possibly had a baby. She rushes there and uses her matchmaking skills to distract two staff members in order to break into the records room. She finds out that she has a brother who was adopted to Australia. Soon, security guards arrive and catch her. Q organizes the binge-watching session with his friends and Florian. Mino shows up and starts talking about his mom, the leading actress in the movie they're watching, and giving them the behind-the-scenes dirt on it. Q is annoyed. Day starts his internship. President Han shows him his desk and informs him that the reporters will be there to take the coffee break photos. Day isn't assigned any task, he's just told to stay there quietly. Mino mentions his parents' divorce. Florian confides in Q that his parents are going through the same thing and he can't concentrate on anything. Q says he is sorry. Just then, Mino gives them a spoiler, ruining the session for the guys. Florian decides to leave and tells Q to organize another session next time, with them only. Alex saves Kitty from the hospital. She learns that he was adopted and he never met his birth parents. She asks when his birthday is and realizes that he could be her brother. Mino confronts Day for keeping secrets from him. He didn't tell him that he was dating Yuri all summer, and he told Kitty about Poopy Baby. He wonders if they're really friends. Day apologizes to him and the two friends order food and play video games. Kitty shows up to meet Q and tells him what she found out at the hospital and that Alex could be her brother. She thinks he's probably looking for answers at Kiss. Mino and Day then show her a video online. Her roommates put her on a website as she was sleeping. Day advises her to move out. Q suggests she moves back with them, where she can bunk with him and Mino can bunk with Day. The next morning, Kitty bumps into Day. He notices that she's wearing her comfort socks and deduces that she is feeling stressed out. She confesses that it feels weird to be roommates. He gets calls and texts from Yuri, which prompts Kitty to say that being friends might not work for her and walk away. She meets Q and they discuss Alex. Kitty can't find any information about Alex's adoption. Q advises her to talk to her siblings about this and just ask Alex during Chuseok. Principal Gina explains to the students that Chuseok is the Korean celebration of the good harvest, and it's a time to thank their ancestors for bringing them prosperity and to pay respect to those they have lost. Kitty likens it to a Korean Thanksgiving. Professor Lee advises her to use the time to study, then shocks her when he shows her her grades. She runs into Alex and confides that she's failing miserably. She invites him for dinner that she's planning on campus for all of them expats. She heads to the grocery store to do the shopping and bumps into Mino. He has a date with Lulu that day. She is the fastest rising pop star in Korea, and they've been flirting since her trainee days. Mino decides to help her cook her meal, as he doesn't want her to poison their classmates. Yuri's parents argue during breakfast. President Han is going to work on Chuseok, but Gina was hoping they could spend quality time together. Yuri then asks Gina about Kitty's mom and learns that they were roommates but they weren't close. Kitty wakes up surprised to see Mino cooking. She tells him that now she can see why Day is friends with him. She wonders if Day is okay. Mino knows that it's definitely a difficult holiday for him since he lost his mom. He asks Kitty if she's doing okay, since she must be thinking about her mom too. Kitty confides that she can feel her all around her there. She thanks Mino for checking up on her. Day and his family are cooking for the event. Day bought the pears that his mom loved, but his father scolds him as they're very expensive. Yuri then pays them a visit as she decided to spend the festival with them. She brought a gift for his mom, but Day points out that his mother died 3 years ago. Kitty learns that Mino bought gifts for 2 different girls and points out that he hasn't found his perfect match yet. She has seen the magic when people find the one. Mino disagrees with her and mentions his parents as an example. Kitty's event is successful and a lot of students show up, including Professor Lee. He says he wasn't planning on coming, but a group of students that big requires faculty supervision. Kitty then gives a speech and a toast, paying tribute to their ancestors and her mom. Yuri enjoys dinner with Day and his family and says that it was the best meal ever. Kitty and Alex talk about Chuseok and the fact that they traveled halfway across the world to learn about their roots. He learns that her mom passed away when she was little. She asks what made him teach at KISS and learns that he knew someone who went there. After dinner, Day sees Yuri off. A delivery man then comes to hand him a package, but Yuri takes it instead. Inside, she finds Kitty's necklace and a letter in which Kitty promises to always be there for him no matter what. Mino heads out to meet his date, but his stomach starts growling. Kitty learns from Professor Lee that East Asians are lactose intolerant. Alex and Professor Lee chat, with the former learning that the professor did his undergrad in the United States and studied music. Alex asks him why he chose to work at KISS and learns that it's his alma mater. Mino texts Kitty to help him. She heads to see him and finds him hiding in the bushes. He begs her to get rid of Lulu but keep her interested to see him again. Kitty pretends to be in love with Mino to make Lulu jealous and intrigued. She tells her that he double-booked her, and the trick works as she reschedules another date, claiming that when he has a night with her, he won't be seeing anyone else after. Mino is glad and calls Kitty a genius. Gina is by herself at the dinner table. Yuri sees that her dad stood her mother up and apologizes to her. Kitty decides to tell Alex the truth, and as she is about to say it, he reveals that Professor Lee is his father. She then shocks him as she tells him that her mom, Eve, is his biological mother. Gina is shown burning a picture of her and Kitty's mom. Mino wakes up shocked after having a sex dream about Kitty. Kitty runs into Alex and suggests talking together to Professor Lee. However, he advises her to focus on studying. He states that he came to KISS to learn about his biological father, to see if he wants a relationship with him, but he also loves his dad who raised him, so he doesn't need to rush into this. Kitty wants to introduce him to her sisters, but he stresses that he has tests to organize and she has tests to study for. Kitty and Q meet, and he thinks that she's been fixating on Alex and Day lately. He suggests she attends Mino's Madness Party, which is the event of the year. Kitty refuses to go as she doesn't want to run into Day or Yuri. She's mad at him as he didn't thank her for the necklace. Q reminds her that she came to Korea to have new experiences and live her life, so she should go to Mino's Madness Party and maybe find someone to kiss. Kitty likes the idea and agrees to go. Yuri is going to DJ at Mino's party, but tells her mom that she's going on a date with Day. Gina comments that them two bring out the best in each other. She praises her for her grades and for not getting into any trouble, and says that she's proud of her. She, however, isn't aware that her daughter is unhappy. Day and Mino are hanging out at the bar when Mino spots an attractive girl walking into the club. He is shocked as soon as she turns around to see that it's none other than Kitty. Q notices how men keep looking at Kitty. She then sees Day across the room but reminds herself that she is there to meet a new boy to kiss. Florian pours some alcohol into her drink. Day tries to talk to her but she ignores him. On the dance floor, Kitty tries to find an interesting guy to talk to, but they all seem strange, except for a guy she meets at the bar with whom she strikes a conversation. But then he starts badmouthing Yuri about her physical features and nose. Kitty defends her and puts him in his place. Yuri happens to overhear the conversation and smiles upon hearing that. Yuri dances with her friends but spots Day alone feeling depressed and encourages him to dance. He thanks her for bringing him there and helping him have fun and take his mind off things. He says he likes her as a friend. Day tries to talk to Kitty but she's a bit drunk. She calls Alex and says sorry for meddling, but she is so excited to have a brother. He realizes that she is at a party with alcohol. She then inadvertently sends a text to Professor Lee, who calls Gina to inform her about the party. The principal sees on her phone where Yuri is. Yuri intervenes when Kitty is about to kiss the man who criticized her earlier. Alex reaches the club and urges everybody to get back to their dorms, but they can't hear him. Mino begs Alex to help him and mentions that last year an idol's family was ruined because of an underage drinking scandal, so he refuses to put his mother through that. Day asks Q why Kitty hates him, so Q tells him that she is heartbroken, that he didn't thank her that she gave the necklace back to him. Day realizes that Yuri took it. Professor Lee and Gina try to stop the teens at the party, but they refuse to listen to them. Kitty watches Yuri DJing and thinks that she is amazing. Day tries to tell her that Yuri took the necklace, but Kitty is too mesmerized and realizes that Yuri makes him breathless. She adds that she is ready to find somebody new too. Mino can't take his eyes off Kitty, so he kisses Madison. Day confronts Yuri about the necklace. Just then, Professor Lee and Gina disable the speakers. All the teens rush out of the venue. Kitty wakes up shocked after having a sex dream about Yuri. Kitty wakes up shocked after her dream about Yuri and rushes to tell Q about it. Mino overhears the conversation and Q deduces that he too had a sex dream about Kitty. But Mino denies that and says that sex dreams don't mean anything, as he can have a sex dream about someone he's repulsed by in real life. Just then, Alex barges in and scolds them about the party the other night, warning them that they're all in big trouble. Gina scolds Yuri and punishes her with a Saturday detention. The party scandal put her father's business at risk, after they worked so hard to rehabilitate the family image. Gina decides to arrange a photo op for Yuri and Day. Day tells Yuri that he wants to break up, as he doesn't want to lose Kitty because of her. He asks her why she took the necklace, and she confesses that she was jealous and thought she might lose him to Kitty. She promises to make it right. Yuri heads to the girls' dorm looking for Kitty, but the roommate reveals that she hasn't been there in weeks. All the students are in detention in the library. Professor Lee confiscates their phones. He then reveals that Kitty is the one who alerted him to last night's shenanigans. Yuri shows up at the library wearing Kitty's necklace. Day confronts her about it. Yuri threatens him into not breaking up with her, otherwise she'll tell on Kitty for living with them in the boys' dorm, which would get her expelled from school. Kitty sees her necklace and angrily pushes Day aside to confront Yuri. Day explains that she stole it before he even got it. Gina then walks into the library and questions Yuri about the necklace, thinking that it is hers, but Kitty explains that it belonged to her mom. Professor Lee talks to Gina outside, saying that he recognizes the necklace and that she and Eve's Song got them together. He wonders why Gina didn't tell him that Kitty was Eve's daughter, but she says that it doesn't matter and walks away. Yuri and Kitty watch them and deduce that something doesn't seem right. Yuri and Kitty head to the yearbooks. Yuri wants to know why her mom loses her temper whenever anything about Eve comes up. They decide to find more photos of their moms and discover what she's hiding. But the 1993 yearbook is missing. The two girls deduce that both their moms wore the friendship necklaces, and then Professor Lee came between them. They decide to search for the yearbook in Gina's office. Yuri plans to use her mom's secret against her. Once there, Kitty finds her file and notices that Gina has her mom's obituary. Yuri learns that her mom expelled her girlfriend Juliana and concludes that she has been lying to her. Professor Lee returns and asks the students to write down what they want to eat. Mino tells Day that Kitty wants to learn about her mom and she didn't come to Seoul to stalk him. Day is then surprised when Mino knows what Kitty likes to eat. Professor Lee decides to roll call, but Kitty and Yuri aren't back yet. Florian distracts the professor by asking for a book he saw him reading before. The professor heads home to go get it. Kitty and Yuri are actually at Professor Lee's house, as they believe he might have the yearbook. Lee heads into his house singing, and the two girls hide. They realize that he's singing their mom's favorite song. They find the 1993 yearbook. A picture shows the two moms wearing the necklaces. Yuri notices that her mom was a bit overweight. Kitty realizes that Gina was the one pregnant, and her mom Eve covered for her. Yuri returns Kitty her necklace and puts it on her. They then rush out to get back to the library. Kitty shows Alex the picture she found and tells him that Principal Lim could be his mother. Yuri calls the paparazzi to school and pretends to lash out on Day for cheating on her with Kitty. She breaks up with him, apologizes to him, and tells him that he is free now. Day rushes to Kitty, holds her hands, and kisses her. Day and Kitty are officially dating and making out all the time. Mino and Madison are also a couple. Kitty wants to talk about their relationship as she still has so many questions about Yuri and why he was with her in the first place. Day says that he made a mistake. Kitty wonders if she can trust him again. They then spot Mino with mini suitcases, and Kitty reminds him that they're camping in tents in nature for 2 days. Mino comments that he packed light. Day and Mino talk about Kitty. Day confides that she wants to go over everything that happened with Yuri. Mino advises him not to, saying that it's a trap. He talks about Madison and says that she's totally uncomplicated. Kitty tells Q that Day always talked about his feelings when they were long distance, but now he is less communicative. Q reminds her of her crush on Yuri, but she brushes it off, claiming that it was just one dream. Kitty sits with Alex. He thinks that Professor Lee didn't even know that Gina was pregnant, so he thinks he'll talk to her first. Kitty is certain that Yuri doesn't know anything. She confesses that she's feeling amazing about her mom. She is in awe of what a good friend her mom was for letting Gina use her name at the hospital. Kitty then hands Alex the baby bracelet. Day tells Yuri that Kitty doesn't seem to trust him. Yuri confides that her mom's the one who sent Juliana away. She got a big payout for selling their breakup to the tabloids, so now she has enough to pay for her flight to Iceland to see Juliana. She promises to help him fix his relationship with Kitty. The students reach the camp. Yuri decides to room with Kitty. She reveals that her relationship with Day was fake and that she is gay. But with the family she has, she's not allowed to be. Mino calls his mom and tells her that he decided to give Madison a chance. He's gonna try dating her. Kitty tells Yuri that she is rooting for her, but she's also mad at them for hurting her. Yuri points out that she pushed Day into it and trapped him there, so she wants her to forgive him. She then talks about Juliana, as she has no way to reach her in England. Kitty mentions her sister Margot, who lives in England now, so she can track down Juliana. Day tells Kitty that he really wanted to tell her, but it wasn't his secret to tell. Kitty, however, is still upset and walks away. Alex tells everyone that their job is to get the garden to look as beautiful as it was before the flood. As a reward, they will get an extra hour before curfew that night. Florian tells Q that his life is a mess. His parents are fighting over custody and child support and trying to make him choose sides. Besides, his grades are slipping, and his parents won't tolerate that. His Greek Orthodox parents don't know he's gay. Q hugs him and comforts him. Kitty excitedly tells Yuri that her sister found Juliana. Ocean Park arrives at the camp, and the students are thrilled to see him. Yuri helps Day, who is planning a date with Kitty. Yuri styles her hair, but then she spots a spider and freaks out. So she hugs Kitty, who feels uncomfortable and steps back. Yuri assures her that she's not gonna put the moves on her. Day turns up and asks her to close her eyes. He planned a romantic and beautiful date for her. Mino also planned a romantic date for Madison, but she shows up late. She was with Ocean Park and his grandmother. Mino gets mad that she stood him up, but she points out that she's not his girlfriend. Mino says that he wants more, as he might be ready for a relationship. He thanks her for helping him realize that, and breaks up with her. Day says that it's been 4 years since he and Kitty met. She admits that the whole time, he was the only person she thought about. Day admits that when she was looking for someone to kiss at Mino's party, it felt like his stomach was being ripped out. He admits that he loves her and they kiss. Yuri and Juliana finally talk. Kitty narrates that Yuri deserves all the happiness in the world. She hears Yuri telling her girlfriend that she misses her and she loves her, and Kitty feels like her stomach is being ripped out. Mino tells Q that he and Madison are over. He realized that he was with her for a reason, as she showed him that he is ready for something real. Mino then cringes at the sight of Kitty and Day hugging and kissing in the morning. Kitty is failing almost all of her classes, but she's trying to remain cheerful. Day states that they have a week before finals, so they're gonna make study plans and everyone will help her. Mino refuses, but Day says that he's not gonna let her fail now that they're finally together. Alex tells Gina that he is her son. He adds that he was adopted by amazing people and he loves his parents. A few years ago, he did ancestry tests, which led him to a nephew of Professor Lee's. That's why he came to teach at KISS, to meet his biological father. Gina says that Lee doesn't know. She then figures that Kitty is the one who told him that she was his mother. He then hands her the baby bracelet. Gina goes home and confesses to her husband that she has a son. When she was 16, she used her American friend's name at the hospital to cover it up. Yuri is eavesdropping on their conversation. Her husband tells her to pay Alex to go away, as this can't be revealed to the public. Yuri confronts her mom and starts packing. She figures that Professor Lee is the dad. She confronts her about shipping Juliana away and realizes that she is ashamed of herself. Gina claims that she had to do what was best for her family then, and she's doing what is best for her family now. But Yuri believes that she sent her girlfriend to protect her image, and that she cares about that more than she cares about her or her son, who wants to get to know her. Q helps Kitty memorize her lessons. Yuri shows up, revealing that she just came out to her mom, and she's moving in with them. She tells Kitty in private that she has a secret brother but doesn't know who he is. She's excited about him, as she's always wanted a sibling. Kitty wants to tell her, but she promised Alex not to divulge the secret. The two girls realize that their moms were really good friends. Yuri comments that they're the next generation and rests her head on Kitty's shoulder. Yuri, Q, and Kitty revise together. Mino learns that Yuri is gay and realizes that she and Day were in a fake relationship. He's mad at Day for lying to him and comments that he wouldn't do that to a friend. Day and Mino go for a coffee run. Mino is mad at him for what he did to Kitty. Day wonders why he is so concerned about her. Just then, they spot Florian with a guy, and they take pictures of him to show Q later. Yuri tells Juliana that she's considering never moving back home. Juliana then learns that Yuri made a study mix for Kitty and feels jealous. Yuri reassures her that she's just a friend who is totally straight, and Kitty overhears that. Professor Lee tells the students that if they choose to participate in the end-of-term talent show, they will get a 10-point boost on their lowest grade. They must perform a traditional Korean art form with dignity. Yuri tells Kitty that she can teach her fan dance. Mino and Day show Q the pictures they snapped of Florian the other night. Yuri teaches Kitty the choreography and explains that the dance with the music combined create the image of butterflies and flowers in spring. Kitty confesses that Yuri makes her nervous and says that she can't lose her. She gets closer to her and is about to kiss her, but they're interrupted by their classmates. Q asks Florian if he's cheating on him. Florian confesses that he cheated on finals. Kitty talks to Alex, who's leaving that night. Gina is outside eavesdropping on their conversation. Alex decided not to come back next semester. He says that his father doesn't know he exists, and his mother asked for some time to process and has ignored him ever since. So he feels unwanted. Kitty says that Yuri wants a relationship with him and is really excited to meet him. Alex then shows her the chemistry exam paper. Kitty is glad to learn that she passed. Yuri notices that Kitty tied her bow wrong and fixes it for her. Gina shows up to tell Yuri that she wants her to come back home, and they'll talk to Alex. Yuri is shocked to learn that Alex is her brother, and Kitty knew all along. Their dance routine starts and the two girls argue on stage. Kitty explains that it wasn't her place, but Yuri comments that Kitty lied by omission. Kitty trips and sets off the fireworks. Her dress catches fire, and Mino rushes to the stage to save her. The two glance at one another. Day arrives moments later and asks Mino to leave. Gina sees that Alex didn't leave. She holds both his and Yuri's hands and asks Professor Lee to follow her. Day notices that something is wrong with Kitty. She confesses that she has feelings for somebody else. Day remembers the way Mino looked at her and vows to kill him. Day confronts Mino and pins him to the wall. Kitty comes rushing, saying that it's not him. An angry Mino tells Day that he and Kitty were better off as pen pals, and believes that Kitty deep down probably thinks so too. Kitty tells Day that she has feelings for Yuri. She started liking her the night of Mino's party. Day says that he can't do this and leaves. Professor Lee is shocked to learn that Alex is his son. Gina apologizes for not telling him because she didn't want to hold him back. He had the opportunity to study music in the States, and she didn't want him to give up his whole future because of her. The professor refuses to talk to Gina as he's angry at her, so he asks Alex to go somewhere and have a chat. Kitty calls her dad and tells him that she got in a fight with Day because she has feelings for her friend Yuri, a girl. Her dad is relieved to know that she is safe and healthy. He reminds her that she is one of the strongest people he knows. Kitty reveals that she might fail all of her classes, but at least she learned that her mom made a really big impact on people's lives in Korea. Her dad tells her that he's proud of her. Kitty packs and tells Q that she's expecting the worst, and believes that she is failing. Q reassures her that she'll pass her finals and she'll make up with Day. Kitty hates that she hurt Day, but admits that she has feelings for Yuri and they're not going away, but Yuri is still ignoring all of her texts. Q makes her some tea and confides in her about Florian and the cheating. He says that he got so caught up in their relationship that he fell behind in his studies, so he met up with an old KISS student and bought some tests off of him. Q loves that he did that and thinks that it's kind of romantic, as he did it to stay there with him. Kitty disagrees and thinks that Florian is rude, especially when everyone else is studying so hard. She thinks that it shows bad character and doesn't want Q to get hurt. However, Q gets defensive about him and calls her out for forgiving Day and Yuri so easily and being hypocritical about morality for his sake. Yuri is back home and Gina is watching her sleep. She tells her daughter that she called Alex and invited him to spend some time with them during the holiday. She also contacted Juliana's parents and they decided they want their daughters to be happy. Yuri is excited to learn that Juliana is on her way back there and her flight arrives in the evening. The grades are up, Florian took Day's spot and Q isn't happy. Kitty learns that she passed and Q is excited for her, but then she gets caught by the dorm staff. Principal Gina informs her that she is getting expelled because she broke the rules. Kitty has her last meal. She stands on the table and says to the students and staff that she deserves another chance. She delivers a speech about her mom and watches Gina walking away. Alex turns up and tells her that it's frowned upon to put her feet where she eats in Korea. He bids her farewell and says that he's gonna miss her. Q helps Kitty pack and apologizes to her. He admits that what Florian did was so messed up and now he has to figure out what to do about it. They bid their goodbyes and get emotional. Mino is also shown sad about Kitty leaving. Gina tells Kitty that she liked her speech in the cafeteria, but she walked out because she can't let anyone see her cry. She says that Kitty reminds her of Eve, and hands her a letter that her mom sent after she got back to the US. Kitty then hands Gina a tape that Professor Lee made for her after their first date. Gina confesses that Professor Lee was her first love, and no matter how much time passes, that stays the same. Day tells Q that since he's not first in class, he loses his room and board scholarship. Q then tells him that Kitty had to go to the airport, but she left him the necklace. Day rushes to the airport to see her. They see each other and hug one another. Kitty tells him that she doesn't regret anything, and for her, he was the perfect first boyfriend. Day says that whatever happens in the future, she will always be the first girl he loved. They kiss and part ways. Kitty then sees Yuri and is about to confess her feelings for her when Juliana shows up. Heartbroken, she walks away. Yuri looks for Kitty, but she already left. She then calls her mom to defend Kitty and comments that she should expel the boys too, since they broke the rules. Kitty reads her mom's letter and learns that her first love was called Simon. She's then surprised to see Mino sitting next to her. He's going to see his mom in LA. He explains that he is in coach because he thought she could use a friend. He learns that she made up with Day, but they also broke up. Mino confesses that he fell in love with her. Kitty is shocked to hear that, and the season ends.